Hey Radnor Runners, Jules B here, bringing you another cross-training workout. Today we're going to do some yoga. We're going to work on the legs and the low back specifically today. So obviously those are two areas that we want to pay attention to during our running training season so that we can run efficiently and without pain. So the stronger our low back is, the less pain we are likely to experience. And I don't know about you, but low back always tends to give me a little bit of trouble, especially when I start to increase my mileage. So hop on a mat or some sort of surface. If you don't have a yoga mat, something non-slippery like a good grippy carpet will work as well. So if you do have a mat, come to the very top of your mat, and we're going to start with parallel feet. So check in, make sure the outer edges of your feet line up with the outer edges of your mat. And we're just going to do a little weight shift forward and back here, and then start to make it a little bit smaller, until you find the very center of your foot. And we're just going to check in with posture for a second. Think about lifting up the arches of your feet and let that energy kind of travel up the front of the hips, so that we release the front of the hips and we can kind of lengthen out the tailbone here. And then we're going to gently draw in the abdominals. We don't want to squeeze them tight, but we are going to activate them a little. And then just gently lift your rib cage up and out. So it's going to feel like you're stretching out the space between your hips and your bottom ribs. And then we'll roll the shoulders back so that the collarbones can open up a little here. And then just draw your chin back gently so that we can lengthen out the back of the neck. And we'll turn our palms forward. This is called mountain pose. So we'll stand here in mountain pose for one nice big breath in and a big breath out. So the sequence we're going to do, we're going to repeat a few times. The first time I'll show you, we'll go kind of slow, I'll talk you through it, and then the second time we'll move a little bit faster. So we'll take a big inhale, soften the knees, reach all the way up overhead, take a big stretch. On your exhale, palms are going to press together, we're going to fold from the hips, so notice that my spine stays pretty straight, and I'm just reaching my hips back behind me until I can't go anymore, and then I fold over the legs. So let your head go here. On your next inhale, you're going to bring your hands either to your thighs or your shins and lengthen out into this flat back position. So you're kind of creating the number 7 with your body. We're going to take another exhale to fold back over the legs. Place your fingertips on the ground, and you can soften your knees as much as you need to do that. We're going to drop the hips towards our heels as we pick the heels up off the floor. So getting a stretch into the soles of the feet. And then as you exhale, we're going to refold. Then we're going to sink the hips low. Inhale the arms forward and sink the hips into a chair pose. So it's going to feel like you're sitting down in a chair. And if you want to, you can bring those arms up by the ears. This is a little bit tougher. And make sure you can wiggle those toes. We want all the way back in the heels right now. Take one more inhale. And exhale, we're going to plant the hands and step back into a plank. So take a second in your plank to find some nice alignment. We don't want the hips up or the neck crunching. We're going to lengthen the neck forward. Press the heels back, tuck the tailbone under slightly. You can either lower down in your plank, or you can bring those knees down and lower all the way down to the mat. And we can press up into either a little cobra by leaving the legs down, or if you're nice and warmed up already, you can press into the tops of your feet and push up into an upward facing dog. So I'm going to draw the shoulders back here. Really lift up through the abdominals and squeeze the legs hard. And then I'll come back down. Press through all fours, and we're going to come up to downward facing dog. So tuck those toes. Engage the abs and lift those hips way up and back. So the goal here is to try to melt your chest through your arms. Tip your tailbone up and back and sink your heels to the mat. On an inhale, we're going to lift the right heel way up as high as you can. And then exhale, bring your knee forward to your nose. We're going to hover here for a breath. Inhale to reach. And again, exhale, bring that knee all the way forward. And we're going to do one more. Inhale all the way up to the sky. Exhale, big, reach forward with that knee. And this time we're going to plant the foot. So take a second. If you need to scoot the leg forward with your hands, that's totally fine. Just make sure you're pressing really hard into the foot. We're going to come into a warrior two. So your back leg will turn out 90 degrees. I'm going to place the whole foot on the floor. Press into both feet and windmill the arms up, keeping the front knee bent. So now I'm facing the side of my mat with my torso. We're going to reach the arms in opposite directions and sink nice and low into this front leg. So the legs are already working here. We'll take a breath in and a breath out. And then on your next breath in, reach the front arm forward, up, and back. And your back arm is going to reach forward. So fingertips are reaching in opposite directions. And then on your exhale, we're going to change the direction of our reach. We're going to come all the way forward. Your arm can gently rest on your leg. And your top arm can either reach straight up to the sky or alongside of the ear. Let's do that again. So inhale, we reach all the way back. Check in with that front knee. Make sure it didn't move. And then exhale, come all the way forward. This is called side angle pose. And if you have the mobility, you can take your arm down towards your ankle or even towards the floor here. From here, we're going to come back up to warrior two. So pressing into those legs. My front leg is burning a little. And then we're going to turn the back leg forward into high crescent lunge. So I just pivoted on my back foot. We're going to tuck the tailbone under a little bit and really lift through the abdominals here. Take another breath in here. Make sure that front knee is bent nice and deep. And then I'm going to bring hands to hips and scoot my back leg in so that my foot can be flat on the floor and all toes are facing the front of my mat and my knees are straight. We're going to hinge forward at the hips. We're going to work the low back a little. So maintaining a nice flat spine. You're going to get a lovely little stretch on the front hamstring. And I'm really pressing hard into both feet here. I'm going to reach the arms forward alongside of the ears. This is going to increase the work on the low back. And we're going to breathe. Try to keep your torso parallel to the floor. If this is too much, bring your hands either in front of your heart here, or you can leave hands on hips. So your choice. Take one more inhale. And then exhale. We're going to soften the knees, plant the hands, and step back into a plank. We're going to flow through. We call this a vinyasa. So we lower down, cobra or up dog, and we'll meet back in that downward facing dog with those hips nice and high. And we'll take the other side. So we inhale the left leg up, and we come forward, knee to nose. Inhale to reach. Exhale all the way forward. Inhale, reach back. And this time we're going to take a big giant step forward and set those feet up for warrior two. Your back foot turns out 90 degrees. Your front knee is tracking right over the center of your foot. And we windmill those arms open. And we breathe here for 2 strong breaths. And then we're going to move from peaceful warrior, so scoop it forward, up and back, into our side angle pose. So either arm on the thigh. Let's come back into peaceful warrior with our inhale. And then exhale brings you back into side angle pose. And you can come all the way to the mat if those hips allow. Pause here for a moment. take it back up into our warrior two. Check in with those legs. Make sure front knee is nice and bent. And then we're going to pivot into our high crescent. So now we're up on the back toes. And the abdominals are lifting us up out of the hips. And we're sinking nice and deep into that front knee. Take one more breath in. And then bring the hands to the hips, step the back foot in about a foot, foot and a half, and straighten through the legs. We'll work the low back. Hinging forward, make sure we're not jamming the knees back here. We want to keep the quads a little bit active. Super flat back, and again, hands on hips, palms at heart. Or the challenge is to reach the arms alongside of the ears. Draw the abdominals in. And on your next exhale, soften those knees, and we'll just step forward, stepping those feet together. Folding over the legs, finding parallel stance. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale to release back over. And this time we're going to come all the way up, reaching all the way up for the sky. And exhale, hands come to your heart or down to mountain pose. And take a few breaths. If you need to pause in between rounds, feel free to grab a sip of water. I'm going to lead us through our next round, and we're going to move a little bit faster this time, and I'm not going to give you quite as many cues. So if you need to, just rewind the video, go back to the beginning, go at your own pace. So we'll find that parallel stance. And we're going to create a little heat in those muscles. Inhale, reach it. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway. Exhale, back over. Inhale, drop the hips, lift the heels. Exhale, fold back over. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale here. Take one more inhale. Exhale, plant the hands. You can step back and flow through vinyasa of your choice. You can always come down to your knees here. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale the right heel nice and high. Exhale all the way forward, knee to nose. 2 more times. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Big step. Turning the back leg out. Windmilling up to that warrior two, staying nice and low in that front knee. Here we go with our little flow. Inhaling peaceful warrior. Exhale, side angle pose. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Strengthen those legs, push yourself back up to warrior two, and we pivot to our high crescent. Get a little lower, one more breath in. Exhale the hands down, we step it in. I'm gonna step back so I'm not off the screen. We hinge the hips back, your choice of arm position, breathing in, breathing out. One more breath in. And exhale, soften those knees, and we're gonna flow through vinyasa. Again, you can always come down to the knees here and do cobra instead of up dog. And we'll meet in downward facing dog for the other side. Inhale that left heel high. Exhale, knee to nose. 2 more. Big stretch. Big shift. One more time. Set up for your warrior two. Plant those feet first before we move. Nice strong pose here. Here's our flow, inhaling to reach back. Exhale for side angle. One more time, inhale. And one more time, exhale. Deepen the bend in that front knee. Inhale, warrior two. And exhale, we're gonna shift into our high crescent. Super strong legs here, breathing in. And breathing out, stepping forward with the back foot just a little bit. Inhale here. Lengthen the spine. Exhale, we're hinging forward. And again, your choice of arms. Check in, make sure we're supporting from underneath a little bit. Exhale, soften the knees and step forward. Inhale to halfway up. Exhale to release. And inhale. Reach all the way forward to come up to standing. And exhale, palms come together in front of your heart. Awesome work, you guys. You can repeat that flow as many times as you like. I really like to do this as a warm-up or a cool down after a nice run, or even on an off day as a recovery workout. So I hope that helped loosen up the hips and get the low back fired up a little bit. I'll see you next week. I'm Jules B. Happy training.